Wake up, sleepyheads.
It's party time! Yeah! This is the old Nooser coming at you right here on this fine Rocktober morning. It's the sweeping sensation that's sweeping the nation, and I'm gonna do it to you right here, right now. Wow!
I like it spooky.
You know, I've been a school teacher for 37 years, and there's an addiction that is reaching an epidemic proportion in our schools. I am referring to rock music.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the I Like It Spooky podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Jason.
Where's that new fucking guy? I thought we had somebody new here.
Where the hell is he at?
Wake up, sleepyheads. It's party time. Hey, Spookyverse, Clint here. And let me tell you, I am amped to be a longtime listener, first-time, full-time podcaster here on the I Like It Spooky show.
Clint, we've only had 14 fucking episodes.
It already is shaping up to be kind of one of those relationships, isn't it? Where it seems a little bit longer than it really has been, right?
Right. Well, Clint, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself so everybody can get to know you?
Sure. I mean, as for me, I'm an old theater tech kid, and I got my start in video production in the late 90s, working on some children's television programming here in my home state of Michigan. That was followed by doing some fast food chain training videos, and then I attended Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts for a while. I've been an active member in one way or another of the haunted house industry since 96, with the last leg of that chapter spent as the co-owner operator of the Corpse Barn Shock Haunt here in Michigan. When the Corpse Barn shut down after 11 years or so, I started my screen print business, inkmirrors.com, and now I travel the horror convention circuit, which is where I met Brian and Jason here. Along the way from the 90s through now, I've written a few screenplays, worked with production companies, been involved with several micro short film and video projects, pro group photography shoots, music video productions, recently have dived into the world of fan films, and now this podcast.
Awesome. So it seems like you've had your toe in everything.
Yeah.
I'm a jack of all trades, master of one or two of them.
Jason likes putting his toes in stuff.
Squishy stuff, mayonnaise, cheese, and Jello. You sick bastard.
I like pudding. Oh, what'd that guy say yesterday? Oh, this custard.
The custard.
From Dead Alive. Oh, it was
the Dead Alive thing. Yeah, that was
the custard. Yeah.
That scene. I almost lost my cookies the first time I watched it. I think I had the flu or something the first time I watched that movie, and that scene where it shot over into the custard and he ate it. Yeah, I about lost it.
Yeah, disgusting.
You don't like custard?
Extra boily custard? No.
No. That's cherry flavor on top.
Boy, we're getting off the rails already here.
It's happening fast.
Yeah. All right, Clint. Hey, what's new in the horror world? Why don't you tell us something?
You want me to do the newscast? So let's talk about that now?
I was trying to roll into it. Yeah,
he's trying to roll
okay.
into it.
Trying to get this train back on the tracks.
All right. Okay. Well. So in convention news, Midwest Monster Fest is coming up here, and that's going to be May, Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th. And the I Like It Spooky podcast is going to have their first ever table at that convention. There's going to be swag bags with T-shirts and stickers and buttons and some vinyl decals. So that's pretty cool. But also in convention news, here in Detroit, Bruce Campbell is going to be hosting Bruce Fest. And that's June 17th through the 19th at the Masonic Temple. And they're going to have watch-alongs and Q&A panels, an Evil Dead gaming lounge, because the game comes out May 13th. They're going to have, photo ops and signing and stuff like that. Ted Raimi is going to be a guest. And you can get some info on that by going to brucefest.co, not .com, .co.
Uh-oh. Awesome.
I know. Awesome. I saw that first, and I was like, is that like Did he forget the M on the end? No,
I
guess maybe
typed
they're
it thinking it was a typo, and it takes you to some weird Japanese. I thought I was going to get hacked or something. It was just all the. I don't know if it was Japanese or Chinese lettering, but I couldn't read it. So
Yeah.
So they're running out of websites, so they're like changing things up maybe.
Down to that.
Yeah.
after a while, it's just going to be .c and then just dot.
Yeah. And then dot, yeah.
Yeah. I was going through bloodydisgusting.com the other day, and I saw Dead Sled Coffee signed a major deal with Warner Brothers to produce products for big horror icons. They got a 2-year license to a handful of major horror franchises. They're going to make officially licensed coffees based on the top franchises out there. It includes full licensing rights to It Chapter 1 and 2, Beetlejuice, the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, the entire Friday the 13th franchise, and Freddy vs. Jason. So I kind of wonder how they do this with, with that lawsuit that was just going on with the whole Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th stuff. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I knew it was kind of finalized, but I guess, somebody has the rights out there to sell. So
Final enough that they're making coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're.
I'll be excited to check this out. I'm not a big coffee fan, but I bet packaging's going to be pretty
coffee.
sweet.
More stuff to add to the collection.
Exactly.
I could drink some Freddy coffee out of my Freddy Krueger cup.
Oh,
great! Now we got to pay licensing fees for that.
Yep. Good job, Ryan.
And here I got to drink out of my Sam Trick or Treat cup.
Oh yeah, looks like you're drinking tea though.
I am.
Well, Jack and I went to the movies the other day, and we saw I can't even remember the name of it. The new movie with Anywhere and Everything All at Once with Jamie Lee Curtis. It was amazing. Unfortunately, we missed the trailer, and we're missing the trailer to this. Warner Brothers has announced and confirmed that Stephen King's vampire movie, Salem's Lot, is coming this year to theaters, September 9th. And it's the first time this movie's been in the big screen, this adaptation. All the others were made for TV. So maybe we'll get like a lot of blood, a lot of guts. I don't feel like Stephen King does that very much, though. Like, that's not a Stephen King kind of thing. Seems like his stuff's toned down pretty well.
Yeah, it's more suspense. There's not a lot of gore and blood. There's on-screen kills, but not a lot of gore. I hope this one kind of maintains the look and feel of the original. Although the remake, did you guys see the remake they did with Rob Lowe was in it?
Oh,
yeah, that was late 90s, early 2000s, and it actually dived more into the book, so it expanded on a lot of the townspeople, and their backstories. So it was interesting to watch, but I still love the original.
Yeah,
give me 70s pale blue vampires any day.
I just hope this one's not 4 hours long.
Oh Lord!
In a theater, God, I hope not.
Oh man.
I saw Gangs in New York in the theater when that came out. I mean, that's a Scorsese flick.
Mm-hmm.
And about halfway through it, you heard everybody's asses just shift to the other side and groan. Like, all right, we got to settle in for another hour and a half of this.
Yep.
No, I'm good. 2.5 hours for that movie the other day was more than enough. And there were some people even left in the middle of it. I mean, I know it's not horror, but it's pretty science fiction-y, maybe some horror elements, but.
All right, so moving on. I want to find out why everybody's wallets are crying. Everybody here, all three of us, are pretty big collectors. We like buying horror-related stuff. So I kind of want to talk about what we each got this week.
I'm the one that's crying. My wallet's more like
exploding.
I'm the one over here weeping, wiping my tears with my wallet.
Yep. So it's funny, I put like a whole list together, but I'll kind of show a couple things. We're testing out the recording here. So I'm a big vinyl fan. Got the Rob Zombie Halloween 1
sweet
soundtrack from Waxworks. Oh, I'm sorry, this is part 2 right here.
Yeah, that's 2, yeah.
But here it is. Got part 1 right here. I'm not good at this with both of my hands knocking my mic around.
Excited about those records, man.
Yeah. Another thing I got here to show. Finally got the Halloween 2 NECA 2-pack.
Yeah,
I always order from Big Bad Toy Store, and they seem to get everything last.
they do.
So, but it's only $4 shipping on your entire order. Plus, it's kind of nice if you buy something from them. They have a thing called a pile of loot. They'll just kind of hold on to it for you. And when you get a bunch of stuff in there, you can have it all shipped for just a flat $4.
Really, I didn't know that, and I bought stuff from them before
Mhm,
too. In
mhm.
fact, I got that, and that I might have got that from them or Toy Wiz. I can't remember, but
Yeah, you got yours early, so I'm sure it was somewhere else.
uh,
Yeah, it's pretty nice though, because I do a lot of pre-orders through them, and then they don't charge you right away. So they only charge you when it comes in. So if I happen to find it at Target or find it somewhere else, I could just cancel my order with them.
they don't have like a restock fee or anything like that.
Nope,
Some
nothing.
of those places with the pre-orders have a restock, like 20%
Yeah.
restock fee or whatever. And it's like
Nope,
right now
nothing.
I'm even more poor. I had to pay you to not give me the thing that I probably shouldn't have been buying in the first place. You know.
So you said that was
So-
BigBadToyStore.com, Jason?
Yeah, BigBadToyStore.com. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
them. It's
Yeah,
pretty good. I
definitely
order
check
a
'em
lot of
out.
stuff from them. Yeah. So I got a couple more things I don't have to show, but I told my wife she can't listen to this episode because I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
She's
So through Waxwork Records, I also ordered the soundtrack for Chud, Bride of Frankenstein, and The Fog. So those are all pre-orders. They're coming out.
Now you see I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you see that the Bride of Frankenstein is going to be at Motor City Nightmares in Detroit coming
What
up
do you
in
mean?
July.
Like the actual bride. She's
You know,
pretty
the
old
actress.
by now.
No,
What?
yeah, she's falling apart. Yeah, the actress.
She's still alive?
She is. She
I-
might smell some, but she's going to be there. No, but so seriously, the actress who played the Bride of Reanimator. I said Bride of Frankenstein, didn't I?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
was about
did.
to say.
She's like,
Bride of
I was
Reanimator.
excited. I was
Oh,
like,
right,
she's
I'll
alive.
bring it.
I'm like,
Bride of
I need
Reanimator is gonna be-
her autograph.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been great. Nope. So she's probably dead. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I know I'm gonna dominate this thing here, but the Halloween Kills Art Edition that came out from Sacred Bones. We were flying back from California when they released it, and it sold out immediately before I even got a chance to buy it. So I was able to find one on, I think I found it on Reddit it was Facebook Marketplace or something. Got a good deal on that one, so finally picked that one up.
Nice.
And that's it for me, finally.
That's it.
What about you guys? Anything cool?
That's the whole segment.
Right. And our time is up. Sorry, folks. Come back next week for
I
Clinton
know you
Bryan
guys can't
stuff.
see this, but I got this cool sticker.
Oh,
I like it. Spooky. A horror podcast sticker.
What?
Yeah. We're gonna have these.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, at Midwest Monster Fest, halfway to Halloween, we'll have stickers, like Clint said. And then I bought this a while ago, but this is my movie. This is Return of the Living
One of my
Dead.
all-
Hell yeah.
Red blood kind of color record. If you can't tell from
Well,
the
now you
background
got two
behind me, I
copies.
kind of This I actually like the other copy better. Like I was telling you,
Yeah.
it's got the like talking up to where the music starts. So like when Linnea's getting ready to dance on the tombstone, she's like, talking about, have you ever fantasized about being killed? And then the music from her dancing starts like after the talking. So I was like, that's freaking cool. And I found that on Facebook. This one.
Do they say Trash is taking her clothes off again?
I think it did. Yeah.
Oh,
We
that's
listened
so
to
awesome.
it on Sunday morning after Encanto. I got to put my record on. So.
Oh, yeah.
I used to think Linnea sang that because it sounds like her voice,
Kinda,
but it's it's a band, or not even think it's a full band, but it's SSQ is the name of the group that recorded that song. Well, Now, so you got two of those records. Does one have different artwork?
Yeah,
Or
the
they
other
both-
one's kind of a greenish color with a kind of just a weird design and not see through. and it's got Tarman on one side, like in the um,
Barrel.
barrel, yeah, whatever. And then I can't remember what's on the other side, but it's I think a Japanese one. I'll show it next episode. I'll pull it out and show it.
Oh, we could share it on
Hopefully,
socials.
yeah, but
Oh, you didn't want to do like Jason and show us 15 of his things?
no, I'm trying to pace myself. I'm trying to keep my wallet not crying.
Well, exactly. I was watching
Yeah.
Jason going, okay, I'm going to grab this camera here and go into the other room and show my entire collection. But
Yeah. No, I'm not married, so like I need to behave because paperwork for getting divorced is a lot. So that's why you guys are gonna stay married. Tiffany can just leave, be like, "I'm going." There's no paperwork involved,
and take all your shit.
Yeah.
prenup. The only thing in the prenup is the collectibles. I don't care about the pension, the 401k.
Yeah.
Leave my toys.
Leave my
Well, hell, like we talked about, this
They're
stuff
not
is an
toys;
investment.
they're action figures.
That's right. 160-point articulation. They're adult toys. I got a few things that I picked up, but I'm just going to show the one and then talk about one more. But when I recently was down in Tennessee for spring break, I wandered in this really cool record store and got this Full Moon Entertainment Laser Blast from 1978 box set. Still sealed and everything, which sucks because I want to open it and play with it, but I won't. And I don't know if you can see from the glare there, but it's got the Blu-ray and the DVD, and then it also includes a mini action figure of the alien from Laser Blast.
That's
so awesome. I thought that was a cool find. And when I found this in the record store, whenever I find stuff like this, the first thing I do is I hop on eBay and punch it up to see what the going rate is. You know what I mean? Things always cost more on eBay, the collectibles, but it's like, okay, how much are they charging on eBay? How much are they charging here? And yeah, I only paid like $40 for this. So yeah, I made out on the deal. And It's a great addition to the collection. And that's kind of a weird one for me because, again, Brian collects most of the physical media and I don't. But it had a toy in there, so it made sense. But yeah, I checked out the stuff. But the real reason that I'm going to be broke probably for a while now is the last convention I was at, which is Motor City Legacy in Detroit back here in March. Our vendor neighbor, I was there vending with inkmirrors.com, and our neighbors, we met them, marvelous people, and that's part of their name, Ted's Marvelous Custom Gumball Emporium. I need to tell him that he needs to shorten his name because saying Ted's Marvelous Custom Gumball Emporium more than twice is a mouthful. But he's on Facebook, and he takes old gumball machines and then refurbishes them custom and turns them into horror-themed gumball machines. And I'll throw some pictures up too of some of the stuff that he did, but he had like a Killer Clowns from Outer Space one and a Nightmare on Elm Street one. And at that convention, Ken Sagos was there, Kincaid from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, and he had Kincaid come over and signed it. So anyway, we commissioned him, and he's doing a custom Evil Dead piece for the old lady because she's a huge Evil Dead fan. Wow. So, I mean, it's got a chainsaw base and, I mean, all kinds of cool stuff when it's done. So, but that one's going to cost a pretty penny. I'll be paying for that for a while. But hey, happy birthday to her soon, right?
Well, does she know about it?
She does. It was kind of like, yeah, we don't really keep. In fact, I got my birthday gifts like 2 weeks early. We don't keep secrets from each other. It's kind of like, do you like that? Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's get it, and then I'll pay for it. There you go. Here's your present. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you a secret, Jason. When her name is the old lady, she knows everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So Tanya and I were driving somewhere the other day, my wife and I, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Clint's old lady." And she was like,
smacked you upside the head and said, "What?" What did
she was say? She was like, "That's horrible. Don't call her that." I'm like, "Well, that's what he calls her." So I don't know. I'm sorry, but it just kind of rolled out like it was natural.
I think that was one of our early conversations, Clint, when I was like, "You said your old lady? Is that cool?" And you're like, "Yo, yeah, she likes it. Like it's, yeah, like whatever." And I said, "Tiff,"
she used it as a term of endearment, you know.
Yeah. I said something to Tiffany because I was, like I said, I'm not married. We're not married. But I always just tell people the boss. I always just say she's the boss, like, which is fine. Like she can be the boss. It's like she's got the master's degree. I have a high school diploma. She is the boss. Like,
Yeah.
maybe second in charge sometimes because the other boss is 3 years old and 3 feet tall.
I was about to say the boss is 3 years old.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know
but
what you're talking
I live
about.
in a house full of women, man. I have nothing but bosses.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
like
Yep,
I
yep.
showed you. I had the daddy-daughter dance there Saturday, and I said I showed 2 pictures. The first one was me handing my youngest some flowers, and the second one was me at the dance holding her and her friend's stuff. I said that's what happens. You give women flowers, and then they have you hold their stuff. But hey,
Yep.
they buy me cool toys, and they let me do what I want, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we're all still broke because we have, an addiction. We have an addiction to collecting items, records or posters or physical media or gumball machines, whatever it may be. How about we send it over to a sponsor?
Can't wait for the Midwest Monster Fest Horror Convention this September? Wishing it was Halloween right now? Want to get lucky in May on Friday the 13th? Midwest Monster Fest presents Halfway to Halloween. Friday the 13th. And
Saturday the 14th.
at the Rock Island County Fairgrounds, located at 4200 Archer Drive in East Moline, Illinois. Friday from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. This all-ages 2-day extravaganza features horror celebrities, musical performances, sideshow acts, cosplay, artists, vendors, contests, food and spirits, and more. To view the guest list and purchase tickets, visit MidwestMonsterFest.com.
So we reached out to you guys to get some feedback and get some questions for us to answer, and we actually got a question. Didn't get many comments. Didn't get any comments about the movie, but we have a question.
They like us. They really, really like us.
So,
Someone does.
Brett Royer from Burlington, Iowa says he's got 2 questions. Question number 1 is, what is your favorite cuddle position? Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah, what do you think, Jason?
it depends.
How many drinks are involved?
Sometimes I like to be the big spoon, but sometimes you just feel like a little spoon. It's
What about you, Clint? What's your favorite cuddle position?
I'm not a cuddler, man, which, the old lady, she is a smotherer. She loves to cuddle. But my favorite cuddle position is hand on your back, arm's length. That's, I'm touching you. You know that we're there. Give me my freaking space.
So,
yeah. If I do that to my wife, if I reach over and touch her, she thinks I'm giving her permission to come on in.
Yeah.
But right,
Yeah.
It's the arm length. It's like a block in the door. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, Brian, you and I are bunking in the same room at what's the Chicago Fest we're going to there?
Flashback.
Yeah, Flashback. Chicago here. So I mean, I need to know how you like to cuddle since we're sharing a room.
Well, I'm like you. I don't like to cuddle. I'm a 8:30, 9 o'clock bedtime. I put, little miss to bed, and I'm hit the pillow. I'm done. Like, I'm out. I mean, Jason and I shared a bed at Halloween-a-Palooza last year in Atumwa, and his wife was like, he's going to snore and keep you awake all night. And I was like, that's the best night's sleep I've had in years. Like, we were out. Like, eyes out, didn't hear nothing all night. Like, no, I was done. Like, I'm the kind that if I go to bed, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep.
It was a long day.
Yeah.
All right, well, you keep your arm to my back, and I'll keep my arm to your back. There we go.
I think there's 2 beds, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. We're good.
Yeah. There's 2 of us. Why do we have to share a bed?
You might wake up in the middle of the night. And...
If it's finally warm enough by then, because it's still freezing here in Michigan, if it's finally warm enough, I'm just going to be sleeping out in the balcony.
On the balcony, yeah. So Brett's other question is, what is your favorite 90s action movie? So, not really.
I'll go first because this is easy. Now, in my opinion, 90s was to action movies what 80s was to horror movies. So there's a lot of really good ones. But the best, hands down, action movie of the 90s was Point Blank.
Oh,
Point Blank
okay.
was Point Blank.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not for me. I like Point Blank. Love some Swayze, Keanu Reeves. That's good. But like right when I heard that, I'm like, oh, Face Off. Number
Really?
one. I love
Yeah,
Face
yeah.
Off. I love it. I don't know, just that whole scene with like the whole gunfight and the little kid, and they're playing like Wonderful World. Like he has his headphones on and directed by John Woo. I don't know. Just something about it. I love that movie. And actually it's kind of funny I was kind of getting stuff ready for halfway to Halloween, like to set up. We were gonna just put out some of our stuff. And I think I have my original copy of like Face Off. Like I'm gonna sell it, like the DVD copy. Now I'm super second guessing it because I have it
You're
like
like, no,
in
I'm
other
not gonna
ways,
sell it.
but yeah.
You
Maybe
guys
I'll
are
have
going
to
to be
pull it
doing
out.
that. You guys are going to be doing that at the convention anyway. You're like, no, someone's going to want to buy it, and you're going to go, no, it's not for sale.
Never
Nah,
mind. Just
take
kidding.
mine. Yeah.
All right, Brian, what's your movie?
Well, I went kind of the opposite of what you guys did. You guys went like hardcore action, I feel like, and I went with The Fugitive,
Oh,
like a kind of a
More
another good one.
suspenseful thriller. Yeah.
more suspenseful. I mean, action still, but like I was kind of sad because I was like, oh, we got to talk about Roadhouse, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that was 1989. I'm like,
Yep.
damn it, barely missed it. Like, but I kind of feel like wasn't like Clear and Present Danger and like The Fugitive. Ford did that like big like swing through the 90s of all those
Air
action
Force
movies
One.
that I love. Yeah,
Witness.
Air Force One, like. So yeah, I went with The Fugitive.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, tell us, everybody, what's your favorite movie? Let us know. Comment.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brett, for asking us something outside of our wheelhouse. Make us scratch our brains there for a second.
Yep. And we owe Brett Cuddles.
Yeah, we owe Brett Cuddles.
Have you seen his profile picture is Burt Reynolds with no shirt on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
I wonder if Brett would recreate that photo for us. You think?
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
I'll
the
ask him.
prize.
Brett's my buddy. He's good people, so I know Brett.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So we want to hear what you think about the next movie, what the next movie is that we review. We are going to throw up 4 choices, and whichever gets the most feedback, that's one we're going to do. So we're looking at either doing Horror Hotel from 1960 with Christopher Lee, I Spit on Your Grave from the marvelous year, because it was the year I was born, 1978. I Spit on Your Grave from 78. Or we're going to do Night of the Demons from 1988. Or the new movie that just came out with the Foo Fighters, Studio 666. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, some good choices.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nice mixture of movies.
Yeah.
A variety.
I know what I vote for. I know what I want, but it doesn't matter what I want. It matters what the listeners want.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a hard choice for me, actually, if we can fit all 4 of them into one episode. Do it that way.
There we go.
Here you go, everybody. Vote for all 4.
Mega episode.
25% each.
Yeah.
Yeah, the review is going to be, this movie was 1960, it was in black and white. All right, moving on to the next one. This one was in color in the 70s, and bad things happened to this lady. Moving on to the next one, and we're done. All right, well, since this is my first episode, the guys here let me choose which movie to review. And it was really hard because this episode is going to be dropping around Mother's Day. And so at first I was thinking, you got to do Mother's Day or you got to do Psycho. And then since I'm kind of the new blood and this episode's dropping around Friday the 13th, I thought, well, hell, let's do Friday the 13th, Part 7, New Blood. All those made sense. But since I Like It Spooky is going to be at its first ever convention at Midwest Monster Fest halfway to Halloween, and it's kind of a rock metal / horror show, then I chose the 1986 horror metal mashup classic, Trick or Treat.
Go, bear these tidings to great Lucifer. say Faustus doth surrender up his soul, so he will spare him 24 years, to give me whatsoever I shall ask, to tell me whatsoever I demand, to slay mine enemies, and aid my friends, and always be obedient to my will.
So this is not a first-time watch for any of us. Hopefully not for any of our listeners. But if it is, I'll give you a little synopsis. The movie centers around a teenager who is haunted by the ghost of his rock hero.
Guitar Hero makes me think of Guitar Hero.
Oh, Guitar Hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Clint, I would imagine you've seen this. Jason and I were lucky enough to watch it together one night at the Roz Talks. Mark Price was going to be at a convention a couple of years ago, Midwest Monster Fest. He had some family stuff go on.
He didn't show up because of family things.
Yeah, he had some family stuff go on. Couldn't be there. Kind of bummed after seeing the movie because, like, why didn't he do more of this kind of stuff?
Oh, he was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, we all kind of know him from Family Ties, but this was great. Like, I want more of him like this. More of him as Ragman, and more of this kind of stuff.
Well, and it reminded me of, you see a lot of like Disney kids, and then they get to a certain age, and then they do an adult movie to try to break that mold. And yeah, same. He was on Family Ties, so everybody knew Mark Price as Skippy from Family Ties, kind of the goofy neighbor kid or whatever he was. And this, he stepped into a more serious movie, even though it's called a horror comedy, which I don't understand because there's some levity in the movie, but I don't get the comedy part of it. Like Dead Alive is horror comedy because it's so in your face,
Sure. Yeah.
It's had more of a somber tone, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you could say any movie where you play a record backwards and it sounds like the devil is talking to you as a horror comedy.
And then people die.
I was like, I was watching it last night and I was like, I don't remember it being this creepy when we watched it together. And maybe it was just the atmosphere and like hanging out with people, but I was like, this is fucking creepy. Like when he's messing with the record, and I'm just like, no, this is like legitimately a creepy movie. Like, I was surprised on a second watch how creepy it was.
It came out in 1986, which was, the height of, backwards records and the Devil's and Metal music, and Ozzy Osbourne and the whole Suicide Solution song, stuff that was going on. So it was really timely when the movie came out. I'm surprised that it didn't take off more. It did well. I mean, it was but it cost $3.5 million to make, and it made $6.8 million. So I mean, it doubled its money, and then a year after being out, they sent it straight to VHS. But so I'm surprised it didn't do better just because of the time it came out.
Well, and the people in it. I mean, it's got Gene Simmons in it, and it's got Ozzy Osbourne.
It's got Large Marge, man, from Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, "That's Large Marge." Yeah.
Is that the old lady?
The old lady on the TV.
On the TV. Yeah.
I knew I had seen her from somewhere, and I was like, I just couldn't put it together. Yeah,
that was awesome. For all those TV evangelists when Sammy Kerr's in the room, because he ripped Ozzy's face off of the TV and then ripped her through the TV and tried to get vacuumed off the floor.
So it was kind of weird. So the movie's known in the United States as Trick or Treat or Ragman. You almost have an easier time finding it as Ragman because there's a newer Trick or Treat movie that's, more popular, I guess, or more well known. Yeah, you're with Sam, your cup here, and then it was also known as and I thought this one was cool for Jason. I don't know if he knows this. Death at 33 RPM.
Yeah,
is another name of the movie. Yeah, I was like, what?
That's a
cool.
kick-ass name.
Yeah,
Why did they just keep that? Damn.
So I was like, that is a badass name. Like, if you
I like that.
Get the soundtrack on vinyl and it's that name on the record instead of Ragman or
I don't know. Vinyl people might not make the connection though and think it's a movie about like a station wagon. killing people in a grocery store parking lot or something, you know.
No, it's a good movie. Yeah, I saw it the first time with Brian last year at the Ross Talks, and I had looked for it before because I've seen people talk about it, but it just wasn't available on streaming anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I never watched it. And then Jason was nice enough to play it, you know, and just because Mark Price was going to be there, and man, it was a great movie. I remember having a little text conversation with Clint about it, and he was like, if you don't like that movie, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, the pressure. I hope I like this.
The pressure.
And no, it was great. So the wife and I were doing some yard work yesterday. I was going to come home today after work and watch the movie right before we did this, but I'm like, oh, that's kind of cutting it close. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, you want to watch this movie with me? She was like, yeah, sure. And she hates like 80s movies unless they like have the nostalgia with her if she's seen it in the 80s and all that stuff. So she sat there and watched it with me, and I was kind of messing around on my phone during part of it because I've seen it, you know, so I wasn't paying attention that much. And then so she kept like, she was like, oh, you're missing it. Like she was really into it, which I was kind of surprised. And then at the end of the movie, I was like, oh, what'd you think of the movie? She was like, oh, it was pretty good. I'm like, yeah, see? Okay. So now maybe I can remember that and be like, hey, honey, remember you liked this movie? Let's try this one now. And
yeah, you opened her up. It's opened the floodgates so you can experiment and show her different stuff.
Yeah, now she'll forget by next week and she'll be like, I don't want to watch this stupid shit. And I usually don't give stuff much of a chance, but you know, I don't know. I've been on a kick of older horror movies because, you know, I was into horror, but I don't remember a lot of these if I've ever seen it, which I don't think I've seen this one, but just thinking about other 80s horror movies, there's so many out there that I need to revisit.
Well, and you're talking about nostalgia. That's actually one of the reasons I love this flick so much because me personally, when I saw it, it reached out and connected, and it makes me remember my childhood because I grew up in Catholic school in the 80s, and I was a metalhead in a Catholic school. And so I was Mark Price. I was Eddie Weinbauer. You know what I mean? And so it was a movie, and there was a lot of kids, I think, that were like that during that time, and still are. You know, it's a different generation now, but you know, so it really reached out and spoke to the underdog who didn't do everything all the popular kids did.
Yeah.
We actually, I remember being in Catholic school, and we had someone came in. I was in 7th grade, I think, and it was a seminar on how the devil was in rock music. I'm serious. And so this person's up on stage playing all these clips from these different songs, talking about, did you hear the devil here? Did you hear the devil there? And they're playing the Eagles, Hotel California, and they're playing Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath, all this music that I listened to. And so I remember I'm tapping my foot and I'm just kind of singing along and moving my head, and I look up and everybody's kind of staring at me like I'm going to, like, you know, curse them all and fire's going to ring from my eyes or something. But
did they perform an exorcism on you?
No, they probably should have though. Yeah.
All right. Get him up here on
stage. We
could
do that now. I got some rosary beads from the Vatican behind me that one of the people I work with brought to me. So,
why did you need an exorcism?
I guess she gave them to everybody in the office. So I was like, I mean, are you trying to tell us something? Like
you were singled out then. That's good.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Did it burn when you touched them?
No, they're in a glass jar. I haven't taken them out. I'm not chancing it.
Right.
Yeah. I thought about if it was a little bit, I was like, I wish there was a way to take them to the convention and have the lady from not Poltergeist, The Exorcist that played
Aline Dietz,
have her do something with them. Yeah. I was like, what do you do though? They're like, you know, so you know, can I like take a picture of her, like putting them into her forehead and she's acting like it burns or something, you know? Like...
Well, that'd be cool though if she was holding them and like praying over you, you know, pray for this singer or something.
I got some nostalgia from this movie about how much I hated fucking high school and I never want to go back there, and how like you watch these 80 movies and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have went to high school there, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or, you know, stuff like that. And you're like, man, that would have been such a cool school to go to. And I watched this and I was like, fuck these people. fuck this school. I do not want to go to school with these assholes. Like, they're trying to drown the poor kid. They're, bullying him, just walking around being pricks. Like, I'm like, God, no, thank you. This is the one high school I don't want to go to. Like,
Hey, it was tough wearing a Slayer patch in the back of your jean jacket in the 80s if everybody else was listening to pop music, man. It was rough, I'm telling you.
No,
Those studded leather wristbands were for protection.
Oh, Clint, yeah.
We need to see some old pictures of Clint.
Oh.
I was never a metalhead. I appreciate metal in, like, I don't know what real metal is, but I appreciate hard rock, and I'll call it metal because that's what it sounds like to me. Way more now. I can listen to a little bit, but yeah, it's not always my go-to thing.
I kind of felt like, I got some Metallica and some Guns N' Roses. I had a older brother that was into, Iron Maiden and has a Metallica tattoo on his chest, and loved Ozzy Osbourne and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of never got like into it deep either. Probably Van Halen's not really metal, I don't think. I mean, maybe it was metal, in the 80s. Yeah, hair metal. I probably got, more of hair metal in the 80s than I did, the heavy stuff. But I kind of feel like this guy, the main bad person in this movie,
Sammy Kerr,
is kind of a mixture. Yeah, Sammy's kind of a mixture of both. He's not really, his music maybe sounds heavy, but he's got long curly hair and, kind of a, who would he even look like from back then? He's,
I don't know, but I mean, so in the 80s, you had kind of like a lot of people lump it all together in a hair metal, but you had trying to think of the bands, my mind's going blank, but you had like Poison and Faster Pussycat and Mr. And they did the big teased hair and they played the riffs and everything. They kind of sang more pop songs, and all the girls went to their concerts. And then you had Slayer and Anthrax and Death Angel, and they were faster and harder, and all the guys were at their concerts. And then you had bands kind of, and this is just my opinion, in the middle, like Fastway, who did the soundtrack for this movie, or Sammy Kerr. The role of Sammy Kerr was originally offered to Blackie Lawless of Wasp, the band Wasp. So you got Fastway, you got Wasp, and they were in the middle. You know what I mean? They weren't speed metal. They weren't just for the guys, but they weren't singing Unskinny Bop. And I think that's kind of what this movie, what they tried to do with Sammy Kerr is, he was, the black leather and the chains and the teased hair, but it wasn't pop music he was singing. So they offered the role to Blackie Lawless, and he was going to do the movie, and they said that Wasp could do the soundtrack. And he had accepted the role, and somewhere along the lines, they gave the music to Fastway, and Fastway recorded it. And they said, Blackie, you can still be Sammy Kerr, but you need to, you're going to be lip singing all this Fastway music. And he says, well, fuck off. I've got my own band. I don't need to lip sync some other band's. So he stepped off. Then they offered the role of Sammy Kerr to Gene Simmons, but he said he wanted to turn it down to play Nuke the DJ, to pay tribute to Wolfman Jack, because that was like his. He was a kid. So the guy they got there was Tony Fields, and he was actually a trained gymnast and dancer, which you can kind of see it if you watch when he's finally out of the speaker and he's doing the concert at the high school. He's just got those real poised. He hits those movements and everything, and I think it worked out great, though. He had a perfect look for it.
So, Sammy's a nice mixture, like I said, of just kind of in that middle there where he doesn't that's another thing. He doesn't, to me, look like anybody from that era. So if you said to me, hey, that's Sammy Kerr, he's the lead of this band that I'd never heard of, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, he is. He's great. Like, man, where can I buy his record? Because, kind of like Jason, like, I'm not a big metalhead, but this is a fucking great soundtrack. Like, I caught myself a couple times, like, and then the movie starts. I'm like, fuck the movie. I want to listen to the rest of this song. Like, I'll turn that shit up. You know, Mark Price will be all right. They're chasing
Yeah,
him through the
yeah.
school for 45 fucking minutes. You know, like he'll be all right. Like,
Did you see who else was in the school at the Halloween dance? The Showbiz Pizza Bear. Did you guys have Showbiz Pizza where you were at when you were kids?
we Chuck E.
What?
Cheese. We had Chuck E. Cheese, so kind of along the same lines.
Showbiz
Yeah.
became Chuck E. Cheese. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess where I was, there was Showbiz Pizza Man, and there was this big happy bear. I remember when I was a kid, there's a picture of me hugging this damn bear so hard at a birthday party that I caved in the ass of his suit. And I'm watching the movie again just to refresh, and I'm like, "Holy, there's the Showbiz Pizza Bear!" And Sammy, they wheel him out at the end after Sammy pops out at the dance and kills everybody with lightning bolts from his guitar. There, they tried to kill the Showbiz Pizza. That's crazy.
Tried to kill the Showbiz Pizza. So was this was post Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, because Elm Street was '84.
Kinda. Okay, and post Carrie. Yeah, kind of post Carrie.
That's what my wife was saying. She was like, "Oh my god, they're going to do a Carrie situation, aren't they?" And I'm like, "Well, some people are going to die, but it's not from like a deranged teenager."
This would be like a perfect double feature if you're going to do a double feature like this, and then Black Roses, or vice versa. Like these two movies together. I've seen Black Roses. I don't know if Clint's, I would imagine, seen it. Yeah, I don't know. Jason, did you make it through Black Roses?
When it was on Joe Bob,
on?
I don't think I made it all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch it again because maybe I did
so.
make it all the way through and just didn't realize it. But I don't know. Yeah, I have to find it and watch it again.
It would be a good double bill with Rocktober Blood also, which I think Black Roses is better than Rocktober Blood in my opinion. But Trick or Treat is better than both of them. But yeah, it'd be a good double bill with either of those.
Yeah.
No, yeah, when we were watching it though, my wife was like really sympathizing with the Mark Price character. She's like, "Oh, he's getting bullied. Oh.
Yeah.
And I just felt for him too, because I mean, he's going through all that. His legend, like of a hero, just died.
Rock star Sammy Kerr, victim of a hotel fire, dead at age 38.
You know, it was kind of weird how they were talking about that on the news, and it's like, "Oh, we banned him from coming. We don't want him to come. And by the way, he's dead." Like it was just kind of.
Well, and then he flips out and rips all the posters down. So I thought that was kind of cool because they did real lightly. They kind of touched in the very beginning, about like teen suicide and being the outsider and being bullied, which is something that today's society deals with quite a bit. But back then, you just didn't hear about it as much. I did anyway. I was a kid. He's writing a letter to Sammy in the very beginning, and he's like, "I got some pretty radical thoughts, about ending it all, but I've got you. You keep me going." And then, right after that, he finds out that he died. So he just like confessed to this guy in a letter, like, I think of suicide, but you keep me going. And then turns around, walks in the kitchen, and this guy's dead. And he flips out and rips all his posters down. He gets to that big Sammy poster, though, that creepy leering over him, watching every move he making. He couldn't do it. Now, have you guys ever had a celebrity die, like, affect you? Like when Kurt Cobain died, everybody went and lit candles, or like when was it River Phoenix? You know what I mean? Or not River. Joaquin died there in front of the room. Yeah. Did you guys ever have a celebrity death really affect you?
Joaquin's still alive. And
River
crazy.
died. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It was River. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I was into hip hop, so Biggie and Tupac was kind of hard. I was just sad at the fact of all the music we're gonna miss from those two guys. But it didn't like hurt me, but I was sad. I don't know, because like I look at it like that was almost family to him. He had his music and he was so ingrained in it, and
and
I feel like if
same town, went to the same school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess of being a 80s kid, I was born in 78, so I grew up in the 80s, and kind of when WWF was in its heyday for a long time, and kind of grew up watching wrestling. It's one of the few things I shared with my dad besides the X-Files. And when just anybody, from wrestling when Owen Hart died or
I was
Eddie
watching that
Guerrero, and you
pay-per-view.
watch,
That was wild.
yeah, you watch, Monday Night Raw the next night, and it's all the wrestlers, they break kayfabe and the fourth wall, and they're all on the stage, and you see these grown men crying, and they ring the bell, and just kind of growing up watching wrestling, it always kind of felt like a family. You had friends that watched wrestling, and you went to wrestling, and when these people died, you maybe never met them or anything, but um, kind of like when I wasn't a Chiefs fan, but football. Derek Thomas was one of my favorite players growing up from Kansas City Chiefs, and he was on his way to the Super Bowl one year and died in a car accident and cut his career short. And that kind of hit me, But I'm a big softie. I watch all these scary movies, and I can watch people get chopped up and all this stuff, and then I, watch something on Lifetime with the boss, and I'm fucking over here crying, and she's like, "What are you crying about?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? They just..." And she's like, "Oh, go to bed."
You need to stop listening to Cat Stevens and start listening to some more.
Yeah.
Harden you up a little bit.
Yeah.
We should do a spin-off podcast on wrestling. I'll sit here and talk wrestling with you guys all day long. Oh man. I think probably the celebrity that did it for me, and again, the same thing. I didn't cry. I wasn't busted up. I didn't feel like I needed to go light candles. Not that there's anything wrong with any of that. It just didn't affect me that hard. But the weirdest one for me was Sam Kinison. Oh. And I don't know what it was. I remember I woke up on a Saturday and I turned on, I had a little TV in my room, and I turned it on MTV. And right when I did, they announced that Sam Kinison died. And for whatever reason, I was a huge Sam Kinison fan, but it just hit me like, oh my God, I was probably watching this HBO special that Friday night or whatever, and then wake up Saturday morning and he was gone. And I sat there for a good long while and processed that one. It took a minute. But, well, lucky for Eddie, lucky for Mark Price here. He learned real quick not to be sad that Sammy Kerr died, because then Sammy tried to kill him and everybody around him. So
that was pretty sick, though, how he did all that, though.
Sammy's spirit lives on.
At midnight, he went and threatened his buddy, like, play this tape or I will kill you. Mm-hmm. And then that's when he pulls the old lady through the TV just to kind of show him, like, what I could do. He's like, oh, okay.
And maybe that's where they got the comedy, because then you see his buddy Roger vacuuming up. He's got this
the old lady.
He's like, what do I do? So he's trying to vacuum her up.
Yep. No, that was funny though. That was good. When he starts playing the tape, and then Sammy Kerr comes on the stage. That was pretty awesome, and just shocking everybody with the guitar.
So the band that was on the stage right before he blew up, they called them the Kickers. I think they were in the movie, and now the Kickers. Then you see the lead guitarist. He goes over and he's messing with the speaker, trying to tune it, because Sammy's getting ready to pop through and he can't figure out what's going on. Him. That was Kevin Yeager. Yeah, that was Kevin Yeager as the lead guitarist. Kevin Yeager, did the makeup effects he designed Chucky. He designed the Crypt Keeper.
Oh.
He did Freddy Krueger's makeup, designed that. And, of course, he did the effects for this movie, too. Which there really weren't a lot. The kills in this, there was barely any blood, any gore. It was a lot of just explosions.
Vaporizing.
Or, I feel like there was the cop who tried to hit Sammy Kerr with the taser there, and Sammy gives him the electric jolt back, and then the cop just disappears. You see his smoking boots, Really, the only big effect was the goblin demon-y looking thing that was in the car there when the girl was listening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the makeup for Sammy Kerr.
But
like his face was burnt. Wasn't bad, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did some research and I couldn't find anything. I was trying to find out if maybe they cut the gore out to get a certain rating. But I think it still had an R rating because they had language. They had, nudity. You see Mark Price's butt. And, there's some naked women at the pool, and then a naked girl in the car.
At the pool, yeah.
So I don't know if it was a budget thing or what, but I was surprised there wasn't more gore.
And then Sammy getting it on with the girl in the car.
Yeah, well, that was the goblin. That was the goblin.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
the goblin.
I know my wife is like, is she having sex with a ghost? I'm like, I think so.
My favorite part was when he calls his buddy. He's like, "You got to go get this tape." Well, why can't you go get it? And he's like, "Wait." And he's like, "You got," and he's like, "Oh, we just got a call waiting." And I was trying it out. It was really cool. And I was like, "What the?" I was like, "That's fucking hilarious." You know,
I think I did the first thing when we got call waiting for the first time. You know,
Yep.
And then another thing I thought was cool was when you were talking about the dude, he did all the Chucky stuff, and it's the directorial debut of actor Charles Martin Smith. So like I was like, who the fuck's Charles Martin? And then I look him up, and I'm like, he's in American Graffiti, the Buddy Holly story, Starman, and he's directed Dolphin Tale and Dolphin Tale 2, and he's won all these like family friendly awards now. But he's like a really well known actor. I looked him up because I was like, the name sounds familiar, and I saw his face, and I'm like, of course I know who that is. Like, you tell me his name, but I saw his face, and I was like, yeah, I've seen him in a ton of stuff.
Like actor or director?
No, he's a director.
Oh, okay.
He was an actor, and he was in all these movies.
Gotcha.
And now he's like a director, and he directed this. This was his first like directing role, but now he's directing like Dolphin Tale 2, like all this family stuff. And he's won a bunch of like awards from like, whatever they give you for like Hallmark or family friendly movies. He's won a bunch of stuff for that. Like,
you got to wonder if he was able to do that because there wasn't so much blood and guts and gore. Because it seems like once you do a splatter flick, then you're just kind of, that's where you live the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few that have broken out. Sam Raimi's broken out from that. Peter Jackson, which you guys just watched with Dead Alive, was broken out from that. But well, the guy that played Roger, that played Mark Price's friend in the movie, what's his name? Ian Morgan.
Yeah.
He went on to write and produce the X-Files in like '93. And then he went from there, and he wrote and or produced Final Destination 3, and then he directed the 2006 Black Christmas remake, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. I love X-Files. I'm a big X-Files fan. Need to rewatch that.
So being the collectors that we are, when Gene Simmons gave him the record,
I wanted it.
Like, this is a one of a kind. I was like, oh my God, how much is that thing worth? Like, my mind instantly went there. And how awesome is that? I'd be like, I want the tape too.
I got something for you. You know what this is? It's the last record of the Kerr legacy. Yeah. They tried to ban him, but they couldn't stop him. He's in here. Are you gonna play it? Midnight. Halloween. That was Sammy's idea.
The name of the album was Songs in the Tune of Death or something like that. It was supposed to be the Stevie Wonder Songs in the Tune of Life or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is no Trick or Treat merchandise. You know what I mean? I made up a shirt through Ink Mirrors, and I came up with a design. It was like this little backwards record. It said Ragman Records, 45 RPM, and that was one of the few designs that I've made that no one understood, bought. It just sold any of them. But besides posters, man, there's absolutely nothing. I would love to get a replica record like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. You should make a shirt with like the WZLP.
Yeah.
And then
the radio
underneath it, put like death at 33 RPM.
Right.
Like the old name, and put just a record on it. That'd be pretty sick.
And a picture of a station wagon.
Yeah.
So, was there anything about this movie you guys had problems with? Because every movie's got, you just kind of like let it go, movie logic. Okay, I'll excuse that to move the movie on. There was a couple in this one for me.
Like the bridge was weird. Like, why the hell is the bridge just open that he could just drive off of it? Like they almost drove off of it the first time when Sammy was taking control of the car. I don't know. Did he drive through a barrier or something? That's something minor, but that's just something that kind of stood out to me. Like, what the hell is that? Just open.
So they had what I didn't get, and again I let it go because I love the movie. But at the end, he gets Sammy Kerr trapped in the back of the cop car, and he's driving to the same bridge that you were just talking about. There's the wire mesh there, so Sammy can't get to him, and Sammy's trying to use his supernatural electric powers to burn through this little grate fence of the cop car, and drives the car off into the water, and that kills Sammy Kerr because electricity and water don't mix. And like earlier in the movie, they got Sammy stuck in the toilet. Remember, they were in his house.
In the toilet.
And got stuck in there, and they flushed it so he couldn't get him. So they escaped.
Yeah, he couldn't get out.
That was
The only thing I could think is if he, because Mark Price went into the water with him, so that water would have been electrified. You know what I mean? So Mark Price would have died. That was the one I was like, they should have had him jump from the car and stay on the bridge. How did he survive this giant supernatural electrical volt going through this lake?
Yeah. Well, and then like when Sammy Kerr like fell and like stuck his hand in the toilet, he was starting to pull it out when they flushed it,
and it was,
and then all of a sudden it pulled him back in, and
there was a visible boom mic too. Did you guys catch it? They talk about it on IMDb, but did you see it? It's when Mark Price's mom's boyfriend shows up. It's Halloween. And he shows up.
Oh, and he's Rambo.
Oh, as Rambo.
And they're just sitting there talking about, we'll be home later. Are you feeling okay, honey? And the boom mic just drops down. It's almost clear as day, But I excuse them. I excuse them because I love the movie, but those are tough.
I guess I've just seen so much trash that I don't even pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
I like it. It's another movie filmed around Halloween, so you can kind of add it to your little list of Halloween movies to watch. Right. So I like that part of it.
Which back then there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, you see a lot now. Tales of Halloween.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just a lot of different movies like that. But yeah, back then there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I need less Halloween movies.
Oh, shut the hell up!
You need more Hallmark Christmas movies.
No, I need like some more Easter horror movies.
Oh, what was that thing you showed me? I almost watched it, and then I watched the trailer, and it was on Easter Eve. It was Bunny Man Part 3 or something like that.
Bunny Man
yeah.
Vengeance.
I love me some trashy movies, man, but I watched the trailer and I was like, no, I'm gonna watch something else. I can't do this tonight.
That was not that one, but Bunny Man Massacre was one of my finds I found in Peoria on a DVD for like $3, and I was like, oh, I need another movie, so I pulled it out. I was like, whatever. I bring it home and I'm like putting it away, and I was like, I wonder if it's worth anything. I scanned it and it sells for like $50, so I was like, I'm not keeping Bunny Man Massacre. I can stream it for free on Tubi. Like, sold it. I was like, yeah.
I remember telling you I found the soundtrack for this movie at my local record store, like on vinyl. Which, man, I should go grab it now. Makes me want to. So maybe in a couple weeks when we do this again, I'll have to be like, oh, why am I so poor? This record.
Because I bought.
You should put it on and play it backwards.
Oh.
See what happens. Yeah.
I'll have to do it live on the podcast here.
Well, it should just have a scratched up fucking record.
Right.
Oh, well, Roger even called it in the movie there. He said, all it is a gimmick from the record industry to make you fuck up your records and go buy more,
Go buy more. Roger was a forward-thinking individual.
Yeah, he was forward-thinking. Cool. He wore black beanie and black clothes to go break into that car in the daylight. And the car was
That was a cool way to do it, though. Like, that's how Sammy was communicating with him, though. Like, through the music.
Yeah.
He's playing it backwards, and then he starts asking him a question, and he's answering it by doing that.
Yeah, fun movie. What do we thinking? It's time to rate the movie? Yeah.
What would I rate this flick? I mean, so, again, I connected to this a long time ago. I had kind of a personal personal thing for me. So even though it's got its flaws, it's a solid movie. It sets out to do what it wants to do. It never gets too silly. I think I would have liked to see a little more blood and guts instead of the PG-13 kind of kills. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 8.5 leather studded cod pieces. Yeah. Hey, Sammy Kerr, if you watch it again, he's got a big ass cod piece sitting there right between his legs, man.
So if I was rating this like on an 80s like horror movies, this would be a solid 10 out of 10. You know, but overall movie wise, I would give it a 7 electric hands stuck in toilets out of 10.
He said
I don't
7
know.
electric swirlies.
There you go.
7 electric swirlies.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. I mean, my second time seeing it, and I'll it's definitely rewatchable.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's always a thing that, you know, when you come across a movie, it's like even if you enjoy it the first time, are you going to watch it again and enjoy it as much? And I kind of found different things because, I mean, we watched it the first time we were together. I watched it the second time. I get creeped out. Like, I'm going to go like a solid 8 Walkmans. 8 Walkmans with a devil possessing music that brings demons, goblins to screw you in the back seat of a car. I mean, I'm not trying it anytime soon, but I mean, you know, if I get lonely, maybe I'll try to find a Walkman.
We'll see what happens when we play this Fastway record backwards.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome gimmick if they could do that. Like at certain parts, if you play it backwards,
it'll say something like Ragman and do his laugh. Yeah.
Just something. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I don't know if that technology exists, like, because you think it would stand out if it could play it backwards, that you would hear something playing it forward. So, unless it, I don't know. Yeah.
I know as much as I do love this movie, and just about every movie that someone likes, they want to see more of, you know, they want to see a sequel. I'm really glad that we didn't, and I think that they could. You know what I mean? There's a story there to be told, but I'm really glad it was kind of a one and done. I think it adds to the quality of the movie, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it would kind of lessen it if Sammy Kerr comes back from the dead again.
Found his way out of hell.
Now
he's doing
out of the
now
river.
he's doing baby metal. You ever hear that baby metal? The Japanese quartet or trio. Oh man, I'll have to play that for you guys. It's insane.
Yeah. I could just see it now. Somebody drops their cell phone in the river, and you know it. Sammy Kerr downloads into the phone on the Spotify, and
he's a malware app now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be looking up porn on your phone. Sammy Kerr's gonna get you.
Yeah. So what do we got going on? These next couple of weeks. You got anything going on, Clint?
Yeah, we've all three of us got stuff going on, man. We've talked about it a couple times throughout the show, but we're getting ready for Midwest Monster Fest halfway to Halloween, which is going to be in East Illinois, East Moline, Illinois, and that's at the Rock Island? Yeah, Rock Island County Fairgrounds.
Yeah,
again, I'm going to be there with an inkmirrors.com table with T-shirts and candles and stickers and stuff. You guys are going to be there with the I Like It Spooky table, and we're going to have, like I said, swag bags. We're going to have T-shirts, stickers, buttons, some vinyl decals available for everybody. Make sure you stop by and say hi and ask us more questions like what our favorite cuddle positions are, and we'd love to hear more stuff like that. So,
Brian will demonstrate all of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Jason and I are going to have some movies, memorabilia, some of our stuff from our collections that will be for sale, and chat and get to know people. And I'm more of a talker than Jason, so if you see me, I'm probably talking to somebody, and I'll talk to you. So come up and say hi. I got a couple people that I'm hoping to see and say hi to.
I can't
And I'll
wait
be
to get back on
awkwardly
that.
standing in the corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you got 2 tables to go to now. You can sit there and talk at that one or wander over to mine. We never did talk to Jeff O'Neill, who was putting it on, to see if we could have tables right by each other. But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you reach out to him, Brian?
I'm sure. Oh, well, yeah, I better. Might shoot him a text.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that would be nice, because I kind of wonder, because you're going to set up and you're going to be there late. What is it, Friday night for the metal bands?
yeah, he asked any of the vendors, but I mean, which includes the I Like It Spooky table. He asked if anybody wanted, because I think the vending gets done at, is it done at 9? I'd have to look it up. But anyway, if anybody wanted to vend a couple hours after that while the bands are playing, and I thought, why the hell not? Especially me making a 6-hour drive to be there. If I have an opportunity to sell some more shirts and meet some more people and talk about the podcast some more, then absolutely.
Yep. And I'll be there hanging out, even if we don't vend. I mean, shit, we could sell some stuff, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, I was thinking, now that we're talking about, the convention and stuff, this is like a perfect tie-in to this convention. I mean, you got rock, because they're going to have like 4 bands, I think, 2 each night, maybe even 3 the first night, and 2 on Saturday night, so music and, horror movies and celebrities and all that.
They're having the legendary Megadeth bassist, Dave Elfson. If I'm saying his last name right, I could never say it right, but if you know who I'm talking about, you fucking know who I'm talking about. He's going to be there. So that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a perfect movie to tie in, to this convention, and just, a fun way to kick off, Clint being on the show. I know this is one of Clint's, maybe not favorite movies, but a throwback to, a time in his life where he was the odd kid out, because, everybody else was praying with the rosary, and, I don't even remember what they were watching back in the 80s. Care Bears, maybe.
Care Bears stare.
Yeah.
The same thing would have happened to me when I was a kid. I just didn't have a record player. I had cassettes, and I couldn't figure out how to play them backwards. So
playing backwards, yeah. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks Clint. Thanks Jason. We're growing here. We're learning. Be patient with us. It's gonna be a fun ride. It's gonna be a hell of a fun ride with Clint on. I feel like we're going places where, big things are coming. Not for me, because I'm little, but yeah, big things from the podcast.
I think you're taller than me.
Coming.
Just about everybody's taller.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No. Let me shrink down here.
I've got more hair, but not much.
But yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I have no hair.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure to check us out on all our socials. We got Facebook, we got Twitter at I Like It _ spooky. We got Instagram. You can find Clint and Ink Mayors on Twitter. Jason's on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you're probably going to see way too much about Joe Bob and the Last Drive-In, but we're really trying to post more and interact with all of our fans more. We're starting a YouTube channel soon, it sounds like, and we're going to start putting stuff up there. The Wire We Pour segment, we're going to start showing stuff there. We're going to start putting up stuff from conventions. Try to get some celebrity stuff in there. We're just trying to do a lot of different things. So, you guys are in for a hell of a ride, and thanks for supporting us so far.
Especially lately, man. You guys, this audience has been fantastic. In the past month and a half, 2 months, we've seen such a growth in Twitter followers. I don't tweet, so is that what you say on Twitter, followers?
Yeah, Twitter followers,
Instagram followers, Facebook page likes, shares, interactions. It really helps us, strive to continue to move forward, knowing that we have the support that as we're stumbling through, figuring out how to make this machine work really well, that there's people out there cheering us on and enjoying what we do. So, thank you to everybody, and let's just keep it going.
And we'll don't forget to vote on the next movie, and we'll catch you next time on the I Like It Spooky podcast. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, what's wrong with you, man? Show some fucking respect for the dead, will ya?